Once more, we have a highlight tool selected and begin by reading the question stem. The reasoning in the argument is flawed because the argument blank. So we're looking for the reason that there's a flaw in this argument, which means we've got one of our top four most predictable question tasks being an identify a flaw task, which is among those four of identify the flaw, identify an assumption, strengthen or weaken. So we want to try to mentally predict what might be an in real life reason we wouldn't believe this argument before even engaging with the answer choices. So we'll read the paragraph and then we'll highlight what the conclusion is before trying to come up with that prediction. A region wherein all telephone numbers now have the same area code is being split into two regions, each with its own area code. Since the residential section of the region has more telephone numbers than does the section containing mostly businesses, the residential section should keep the old area code and the business section should get the new area code. After all, this will result in fewer incidences of dialing the wrong number than the reverse distribution of area codes. Hopefully, we recognize that 97 times out of 100, a recommendation is going to be your main conclusion on a logical reasoning argument task. So we know the conclusion, we highlight it as the residential section should keep the old area code and the business section should get the new area code. And the reasoning was that the residential section had more telephone numbers. And then the author of this argument makes the logical leap that this means because there are more residential telephone numbers that you're going to have fewer incidents of dialing the wrong number for within the new area code distribution if you assign the old area code to the residential section as opposed to the business section. But we should think about this proactively and go, well, like a home probably is going to get less calls on average than a business, right? Like a business is conducting business on a daily basis, whereas a home is going to have a much smaller population trying to reach out to it. So we should have mentally this idea that actually, no, just because there are more homes doesn't mean that the homes are going to get more calls than the businesses. Thank you for watching this explanation video of an official LSAT practice question from lawhub.lsac.org. If you're enjoying the tips that it contains, please consider liking the video. And you can also subscribe to our channel to be alerted when new video explanations are released by my guru. Also, check out the description below because within it, you'll find links to full sets of video explanations for official LSAT prep tests from lawhub.lsac.org as well. But for now, let's get back to this video. So A reads, takes for granted that the current single area code cannot provide enough numbers for over half of the whole region. Over half. Like, we need it to be split into equal halves. Like, there's this entire idea of distribution and proportionality that's introduced with this over half of the whole region that needs a whole lot of additional information, and we should be able to eliminate A pretty readily. Then choice B improperly relies on a vague distinction between residences and businesses. Well, it's not vague. A residence is where somebody lives, a business is where somebody conducts business. So we should be able to eliminate B almost immediately as well. It certainly doesn't match our prediction that we had mentally. Then choice C takes for granted that there will be no future growth in either section of the region. Well, we're talking about the circumstances today, not in the future. So we'll eliminate choice C because that introduces some hypotheticals that, again, would need additional information to address what might be wrong. And again, it just doesn't match our mental prediction of maybe the businesses just get more calls on average. Then choice D overlooks the possibility that businesses typically receive more calls than do residences. Ding, ding, ding. That is exactly what we should have had as our mental in real life prediction that we should have when we've got a real life scenario to evaluate, such as we do here with question 6 from drill set 3. But then if we read choice E overlooks the possibility of adding more than one new area code to the region, well, that again would require additional information. So hopefully you would have been able to address this a little bit more expeditiously by working through your own mental prediction, which should lead you pretty directly to the correct answer here of D.